Hi, I'm Steve Smith. This is the third video on the subject of game changers. This game changer is redefining and focusing vision, which changes the way your congregation sees its community. The main reason why churches are not making and retaining more disciples is simply because churches do not have a vision from God. What they may have is a theological statement about what every church should be, such as glorifying God by mobilizing the resources entrusted to our church for the fulfillment of Christ's commission to make disciples of all nations. I know some churches do a great job reaching people in their community while having such a vision statement. But for many pastors who lead churches that are plateaued or declining, understanding how vision differs from a theological statement is critical. A clear vision from God moves the heart of a congregation away from indifference for the lost, which is the main reason the church is stuck. Churches are often stuck not because of a lack of resources or bad leadership. They're stuck because most attenders do not know a single lost person well enough or that they care enough about to see that person cross the line of faith. One of the churches I worked with used to see people regularly putting their faith in Jesus. But in the passing years, the attenders no longer thought about the lost in that way. They saw church as a place where they could get together with their friends, hear teaching they enjoyed, and grow old together. They're just beginning to discover again lost people who they need to know and to love. Vision is a God-given revelation of why He has your church and your community at this time. Why are your church doors still open? Why doesn't your congregation just join the biggest church in your town? The reason is that God plans to use you to reach people with the gospel that other churches are not reaching. Refocusing vision starts with what really matters. A congregation has to care more about the lost being found than becoming a larger church. This is the core of the matter. What lost people are we talking about? Matthew 9:36-38 tells us, when Jesus saw the crowds, He had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then He said to His disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into His harvest field." Notice two relevant issues raised here. First, Jesus saw lost people and felt compassion for them. Wherever Jesus went, He saw people who needed the Father, whether at a well or up a tree or someone who slipped into His room at night. Their lostness moved Him. Second, He challenges His followers to pray that God would send harvesters. This was a big task, but the workers had to see the harvest too in order to be able to actually harvest. Vision is when the people of the church see the lost, see the harvest. This is more than just you, the pastor, seeing the lost, more than just the leaders. It's all the people who were once lost and now are found themselves, seeing the lost with fresh eyes. However, you know you have a real vision when seeing the lost means that the people in the congregation intentionally seek to build relationships with lost people. Vision makes its impact by moving believers from mild interest in spiritual things to possessing the kind of compassion that gets them out of their comfort zones and into the lives of people Jesus wants them to see. All the other systems are built to help your church accomplish its vision. As a systems coach, I recognize that I cannot help a church develop the kind of systems that matter unless it knows who it's trying to reach with the gospel. Here's a couple of focused vision statements to illustrate. God has called us to proclaim the gospel to the working poor in this area through word and deed. We desire to be used of God to reach the Latinos in this area with the good news about Jesus, especially reaching kids who have become gang members. Do you see how this kind of vision would change how your congregation defines its reason for existing? For their personal investment in Jesus' kingdom? But writing a vision statement is not the final outcome. There can be no such thing as a vision without developing the strategy to reach the people your congregation now sees. For a vision to go beyond words printed on your website, you must be intentional about how you're going to sow the gospel and reap a harvest. Keep in mind that a vision without a strategy is a dream. And also, a strategy without a vision is just activity. Why address this? Because many church vision statements do nothing to motivate the congregation to actually be the church. A true vision can pull the congregation back into their call to harvest. It may seem like more busy work for some pastors, but if you want to change the game, you can only do it if you know what part of the harvest God plans for your church to reap. If you do not know how effective your vision is, here's a way you can check it out. You can download the Triage for the Stuck Church evaluation for free from our website, which will score the health of your vision and 4 other critical systems. Next time, I'm going to discuss the hardest change a pastor leading a church under 150